Well, hello. Welcome to January 23rd, 2023. Today is a Monday, and it feels like it. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation video. This is an exercise that I perform each and every morning shortly after waking up. It's now 4:36 a.m. I do this in order to remember my life objectives and principles, and to see how I did applying them to the challenges and opportunities of yesterday, and to plan for the coming day. I also use this time to recount each and every one of those, go over them like seashells picked up on the beach, to examine and consider before laying them down and getting on with the next one. I do this so that they're at the ready in my mind to use as needed. All right, well, let's get started. And good morning, Parker. First, last night and yesterday. It was a pretty good night of sleep. I did wake up a couple of times thinking and worrying, actually, about the upcoming trip. Worried that I might get Mimic or I might get COVID just before we go. Worried about how to make sure we have enough gifts for everybody. Worried about the itinerary and etc. It's just par for the course. That's part of what I do. I would like to get away from those worries a little more. Maybe a little more script writing in that direction. Otherwise, the day was good yesterday. A day of preparation, nice day with the family, nice weekend all around. All right, let's get started on the good life. My 7 objectives are as follows. Number 1 is to be always ready to die, to have my life affairs in order, my relationships sound, and my life's work in a done state, if not finished. So that if I die today, I've not left an unnecessarily messy burden for anybody, and all my love yous are in the bag. Number 2, second objective, is to make good and effective use of my time, to not waste my days. Number 3 is to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. That's the 7 and 34 that I'm reciting right now. I do this so that these are ever at the ready. Excuse me. At the ready and familiar when I need them throughout the day, and I usually do. Life ain't easy. Next is to cultivate good emotional reactions, to become someone who can react well to the emotional ups and downs throughout the day. Well, it's not hard to react well to the ups, but the downs are another thing. Next is to perform good actions, just to do good things throughout the day. And then to recognize my true limits and my true opportunities. Dang it, I just realized I blew it again. Darn it. I was supposed to fast and not drink coffee. I needed to go do some blood work, and here I am drinking coffee. Darn it. I'll have to do it tomorrow. The same thing happened on Friday. I was going to go get my blood work done, but I'm supposed to fast, and I drank coffee. Darn it. Sorry, I'm totally timed out there for a second as that little thought came up. I'll have to hide my coffee cups tomorrow so that I know better. Okay, so, that's an example of one of my principles. Life will not go well. Little things will happen throughout the day, speed bumps all along the way. Darn it. Oh well, tomorrow. Next is, so I talked about cultivating good emotional reactions, performing good actions. That's where I got stumbled, and then just doing good things throughout the day. And then the last objective is to recognize my true limits and my true opportunities so that I don't reach for things that are beyond my grasp, that are truly beyond my grasp. Like, I can't reach for tomorrow. So it doesn't make sense to pine after yesterday. All right, next comes my 34 principles, which are as follows. Number 1 is the principle of war, to always be fighting against every proposition of truth and everything that I already hold as true. Number 2 is the principle of reason, which is the tool that I use in this war. There are 4 sub-principles here: honesty, objectivity, doubt, and humiliation, because I want to be honest with myself about what I truly encounter, objective in my view, a fierce skeptic, and ready to welcome the humiliation of discovering that I'm wrong. What a good thing to know. Next comes the anchor hold. Sorry, the homunculus, the little man inside. I don't have a soul. I don't think any of us do, but I do have a consciousness, at least for a while. And I call that the homunculus, the little man within. Next comes the anchor hold. This principle suggests that the homunculus is trapped inside of us and will die utterly when we go away, which is a catalyzing idea when taken to heart. It causes me, at least, to live a more deliberate life, knowing that I'm going to be gone forever soon. Next comes the home of good and evil. Right and wrong don't pervade the universe at large. They reside in here, in our brains, as opinions. And it's good to remember that. And then to take seriously the hard work of rendering right and wrong from the materials of life. Next comes the principle of purpose. And there are 3 purpose in my life. The first of these is to be a good husband and father, to raise my daughter successfully to adulthood so that she can carry on after I'm dead. Second is the principle of, sub-principle of virtue, to strive to be a virtuous man, where virtue isn't some general idea, but is very simply any effort that's associated with the improvement of the well-being of thinking creatures in particular. And then the third sub-purpose is whatever individual purpose I on board in life. And for me, that is the sharing of my story going alone. And the Good Life Creed contained therein. Excuse me, which I worked hard on this weekend to improve. And thank you, Andrew, for sending me that information. It helped. Oh, pardon me. Next is the atomic principle. Everything is made of bits and pieces falling to pieces, including us. And then the principle of nature. Everything and everyone and every circumstance has some particular nature. And it's good to recognize what that is and abide it. And then there comes the principle of the pirate ride. Free will seems to be an illusion. I don't think it's real. I think we are jostled around by the universe to such an extent that we're largely at the, how do you say it? If I say at the will of the universe, it makes it sound like the universe has some will. I don't think it does. We are subject to the universe's energies and activities and motions. We have evolved in such a way that it feels like there's a part of us that's in control. But I think that's a vain illusion. All it is an alignment engine. Our consciousness aligns us with, it's like a flower turning. That's I like this one here that I'm about to say. Like a little green clover, turning to face the sun as it goes across the day. Is the clover willing itself to do that, or is it simply abiding the mechanism? Is it abiding the stimuli of the universe? I think it's the latter. So to us, I think we are the same way, just that it feels like we're in control. Next comes maturity and the sub-principles of wisdom, fortitude, and integrity. We are mature when we wisely remember our past successes and failures and strive to do better, have the fortitude to do better, and then can enjoy the integrity of a life lived in alignment with our values and principles and objectives. Next comes the social principle. We are social creatures. We need each other, and we really do much better when we seek out one another. And then the sub-principles for that social principle are diplomacy, justice, conspiracy. We use diplomacy to work together to sort out our ideas and vision for justice, which we then link arms to conspire to achieve. The next principle is family. It's good to have a family, especially after our great life adventure is complete. And that can be a conventional family, or it can be a family of our choosing. All it is a connection of human bonds that form a nucleus of sort for us to reside in. The next principle is called public speaking, a reminder to be very careful about our words, to choose them carefully and to listen carefully. The sub-principles here are best words, cultivating and utilizing a rich vocabulary in the best way possible, not to be showy or ostentatious, but to simply convey our meaning in the best, most readily understood manner possible. Next is prudence, which is the ability to filter our ideas through our values so that they reflect these, and felicity, to filter our ideas through our emotions so we flavor ideas in an appropriate manner with how we feel. Then comes eloquence, the ability to speak or write well, which comes of modeling and practice. And then there are two negative elements of communication of public speaking, which are spreading rumors, nasty thing to do, and engaging in gossip, nastier still, talking about others behind their back. And we know when we're doing the gossip, when we're talking about someone in such a way that if we discovered that they were suddenly behind us listening in, we'd be mortified. I just don't do that. Don't do that. It's nasty. All right, that next one is temperance, the ability to control our consumption of all things in life, whether that be how much we work or how much we eat or drink, how much we play, whatever it is, just to exercise restraint. I need to exercise a little more restraint. I keep eating too much of Yumiko's dinner. I went back for a third helping last night of her nabe stew. It was so good. It was that or leftovers, and I rationalized it as leftovers, but I really need to cut down on that. Next is life will not go well, and it won't. There's going to be tough days along the way. The next principle is the horror show, which is a reminder that sometimes those tough days are to the nth degree horrifying. Life really does take all of us out in one way or another, and there's, to a greater or lesser degree, horror interspersed throughout our lives. There's probably some horror, if not happening to you right now, or it's happening to someone around us, someone we love, or someone we're associated with. I have several people like that in my life, and it's good to think about them and extend a hand and be ready for the horror when it comes for us, as ready as you can be. Next comes that which must be borne, carried. And what we have to carry is the fact that life won't go well and the fact that horror awaits. Then comes the feast of woeful, which is the waste and the byproduct of our intemperate living, when we give up our upset to the world and stain and soil others around us. Likewise, when others do the same and stain and soil us. So for my part, I try not to be one who spills my upset onto others, and I try to keep my mouth shut when others are doing it around me. It doesn't mean I don't care, and it doesn't mean I don't lend a hand. I just don't swallow it down. I don't internalize it. I exercise apathy. Again, apathy doesn't mean you don't care. It's just a healthy disconnect from that which is beyond our reach. Okay, next comes distraction and agency and the great indifference. Two principles that go together. Distraction is what we do to keep ourselves busy, and so that we don't have to witness the great emptiness and futility of the universe in the long run. We keep ourselves busy with our work and our play and our hobbies and our sports and our gossip and our politics and our religion and our God. And in so doing, we can live the livelong day without worrying about not having a soul and there being no God, and being responsible utterly for making our own lives good. It's a heavy and weighty deal to hold. So we distract ourselves so we can keep that weight away. But the consequence is that we keep that worthy weight away, which is a shame if we want to live well. Next comes the best seat in the house, to strive to be all right with who I am and where I am and what I'm doing at all times, all the while striving for better. Next comes the restless man, which speaks to the restlessness that some of us feel at a young age, that as a man or a woman we can indulge in by having a great life adventure, which is the two principles down. The great life adventure is the thing that we have that becomes our story. And we get there by stepping upon the next principle, the path of wildness, which is the way forward and through into a new life. So we are a restless man or woman who steps upon the path of wildness and yields a great life adventure. And that assuages the deep restlessness that we feel about exploring life. Some people don't feel it, but I think most of us do. Next comes the risk of avoiding risk. If we don't do something about that restlessness at a young age, then it seems to haunt us all of our lives to a greater or lesser degree, coming back at times and with a vengeance. But if we indulge that interest too much, then we go too far the other way, and we wind up without the sane and the settled and the deeper elements of life in terms of building a family and structure and home, which are important too, especially for fulfilling the long-term purpose and mandate of family. So it's tricky to balance those. Satisfying the restlessness while satisfying the need for this safe and stable. But it is possible to do. The risk is that we go too far one or the way or the other and wind up with too much of one and not enough of the other. Good luck trying to balance that. It's hard work. Next comes sin and damnation. I don't believe in God, so I don't think there's any deity to sin against or deity's law to fail to abide. But I do believe we can sin against the ambition of living a virtuous life. And those sins look like falsity. These are sub-principles. Being untrue. Credulity, believing things too easily. Faith, belief founded on belief, which is nonsense. Superstition, likewise. Dogma, belief founded on tradition or institution. Authority, belief founded on charisma or a great speaking ability or just being impressed all around by a leader. And then rumor and gossip. Those are the 8 sins that result in damnation in the here and now. Next comes complete oblivion. Since I don't believe that I have a soul or that there's any God or heaven or hell or afterwards, I think that when I die, that's it for me completely. I will never be reunited with my loved ones. I will never have any final reconciliation. There will be no final of differences, and there will be no final justice because there's no place to have the justice and no one to apply it. All we have is this time that we have now. So we have to live well and work hard to make the best of it and build a better city before we're dead. Next comes the bullseye, the season of philosophy, which I think I've been missing the last couple of days. The season of philosophy is a time of life to record our best ideas about, or whatever words come as a result of inspiration. Have a pen and paper ready at all times and write when they come, write when the words come, because they pass soon. Then comes the principle of script writing, the ability to plan out our minutes, hours, and days ahead by rehearsing them in our head. It makes a difference. Then the bullseye aim, reminding myself that I can shoot for the mark, but I should not expect to hit bullseye every time. In fact, I should be delighted when I get a bullseye, not upset that I've missed a bullseye. Arena and utility is next. Life is an arena for the development of objectives and principles that we can utilize to live a better life. The uphill climb is next. Every day is an upward climb higher up the mountain of life to yield a better and more comprehensive view in the end of the day. Nothing is enough. This is the second to last principle. A simple reminder towards simplicity. And then finally, the principle of fun. A dear reminder to enjoy the day, to enjoy the anticipation of tomorrow and the remembrance of yesterday. There you go. There's my Good Life Creed, laid out categorically, one by one, examined again like shells picked up on the seashore. As for today, today I only have 4 days this week, and then I go on vacation. So I'll use today to good ends to prepare the team to carry on without me. I'll attend my meetings, I'll move things forward, I'll keep things going, and I'll anticipate the trip to come, do whatever last minute preps I need to do. Off and running. Well, that's it. I think I'm going to finish with that. I appreciate you making it this far with me. I wish you all the best with your day. I'm going to do my best to have a good day as well. And with that, I wish you adieu. Be safe, but not too safe. And my life now is done, if not complete, if not finished. That's how I say it. Take care. Bye-bye.